Our discussion will serve as a practical tool for our members to better understand how to develop, enhance, and sustain the highly lucrative opportunities within African airport commercial sector. And according to ACI, passenger traffic across Africa is projected to reach 273 million, representing an estimated 9.4% growth in 2025, which is a clear indication of the continent's strong potential and the importance of strategic commercial planning. As African airports continue to expand and modernize, the question now is how to build commercial revenues. It's not how to build it, but how to do so intelligently as well as aligning non-aeronautical revenues with operational efficiency, using data to design smarter and more responsive airport environments, as well as embedding this commercial planning early into the airport cycle to ensure long-term resilience and value creation for our airports. Once again, thank you for joining us, and I am confident that today's conversation will provide valuable insights and practical strategies to help us all rethink the role of commercial strategies in shaping the future of African airports. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce Munich Airport International and our expert, Mr. Marco Giuliano, who will share their international expertise and unique perspectives on commercial operation strategies in the airport sector. Munich Airport International is a wholly owned subsidiary of Flughafen Motion GmbH. Now, I did consider impressing you all by pronouncing the full German version of GmbH, but I decided to spare myself the challenge. Let's just say that means limited liability company. So together with its international clients, Munich Airport International pioneers the future-proof development of airports worldwide. Munich Airport International excellence is built over 30 years of successfully shaping the aviation industry. And over this period, the company has evolved from being the premier provider of ORAD services to an internationally acclaimed airport operator and trusted advisor. Munich Airport International excels in airport and terminal concessions, management services, as well as consulting. The company also provides cutting-edge strategic and operational consulting and best practices solutions for the entire airport lifecycle. This includes strategy and transformation, airport master planning, design, operational readiness, airport transfer ORAD, commercial operations and passenger experience, efficient and sustainable operations training, and advanced airport development. Mr. Marco Giuliano is a senior consultant in an airport management and commercial at Munich Airport International. He brings over a decade of aviation industry experience. He also holds a master's degree in air transport planning and management, and has an extensive experience in airport business development and planning across airports of various sizes. With a strong track record in combining strategic visions and practical solutions, Marco helps airports optimize non-aeronautical revenues while ensuring operational efficiency. So on that note, let me hand you over to Marco, who will take us deeper into these themes and, of course, answer your questions. Over to you, Marco.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. And thank you. I'm very glad to be here to take part of this webinar. And thank you to ACI for giving me the opportunity to lead this speech. So I hope that at the end of this this speech you will have like a better understanding of how the commercial strategy can guide the operational planning in an airport and vice versa. And so I will give you some examples, some practical frameworks and benchmarks in order to help you and help African airports to use and to design a good commercial strategy for growth. I start giving you some, like a brief introduction of Munich Airport International. So Munich Airport International is part of Munich Airport Group, and the last financial year, our group revenue reached 1.4 billion with an EBITDA of 370 million. And here in this slide, you can see the revenue share, the split between aviation revenues and non-aviation, with 55% with aviation and 45% of non-aviation. And this is a first message for you, and this really underlines the power of diversification in terms of revenue streams in an airport. And this balance between aviation and non-aviation revenues didn't happen overnight. It is a result of long-term commitment to integrating the commercial strategy into every aspect of airport operations. And as you can see on this slide, Munich Airport is diversified across nearly every airport-related service. So from ground handling and cargo handling, but also real estate, retail, food and beverage, hotels, and so we operate not just an airport, but we operate parking with managed terminals, and we also provide insurance service. So there is a wide range of diversification in terms of services within an airport management business. We also manage terminal operations, airport planning, as said before, and deliver ORAT, operational readiness and airport transfer, to airports around the globe. So not only Munich, but airports in all continents. And this diversity gives us resilience and flexibility to innovate across the entire airport value chain, so we can use synergies between the different business areas and develop innovative procedures, innovative best practices. So let's focus on the topic of today, that is mainly how the commercial strategy integrate into an operations strategy, and which are the synergies between the two. So we often say that airports are more than just infrastructure. They are not just airport and transit point, but they are living commercial ecosystems. And a successful airports blends what you can see in this slide. So commercial strategy, operational infrastructure, and financial into one single coherent vision. So a solid commercial strategy acts as a compass, so gives guidelines for defining how you generate both aeronautical and non-aeronautical revenues, and how you can optimize every square meter in order to generate more value from your airport. So why a commercial strategy is so important? This slide, you can see 5 main key points that can explain you why it's important to have a strong and solid commercial strategy in place. So first point is it helps you to diversify revenue streams beyond airport charges, landing fee, passenger fees. So getting high margins from all the non-aeronautical revenues, from retail, food and beverage, parking, and so on, you can diversify your revenue. So it's an airport, is not just a revenue engine from airport charges that you charge to your airlines and your passengers, but you can also increase the diversification of your revenue thanks to the commercial strategy. Then within a good commercial strategy, you can enhance the passenger satisfaction, designing better services and layouts. So a commercial strategy gives guidelines in order to design commercial areas layouts, for example, or passenger flows, and in order to optimize the dwell time. So all of them are key elements to the passenger journey. And within the commercial strategy, you can find all the guidelines in order to design as much as possible those passenger journey. The third point is to increase the competitiveness of an airport. So airports that earn more from non-aeronautical revenues can reduce the charges, and so they are more competitive and they can attract more traffic. So how you do that? You do that defining the positioning of your airport, profiling your customers, and so if you know more your customers, you can, of course, provide better products and services, and you can generate more revenues and decrease the pressure on the aviation aeronautical revenues. Fourth point is maximize the use of assets, so optimizing the revenues from all the available spaces and make spaces flexible. So within the commercial strategy, you should have also a strategic view how you can change the flexibility of your infrastructures in order to adapt to the traffic change or demand change. And the last point is commercial strategy helps build a long-term financial sustainability because of less dependency from only aeronautical revenues. So it's a buffer against downturns or something that change the traffic pattern as forecasted. So this chart show you like a circle. So it's a virtuous circle, and mainly express the concept of a commercial strategy is a revenue engine. So it's a source of income. So the main goal is transforming an airport into a source of income thanks to more non-aeronautical revenues, the diversification of revenues, and optimizing the commercial potential. So more revenue means the opportunity to reinvest the capital. So you can reinvest the capital in better facilities, and these can generate a better experience for passengers and airlines. So if you have like a state-of-the-art infrastructures, you can invest in terminal expansions, you can invest in real estate developments that can give you more revenue opportunities, and you can have more efficient operations. And doing that, you can have an efficient airport, economically sustainable, and you can enhance your customer experience of passengers, third parties, handlers, retailers. And so an efficient airport that provide a really good customer experience generate more traffic. So you can use this in the traffic development that is a part of the commercial strategy, of the overall commercial strategy. So a best-in-class airport for customer experience, infrastructures and all services attract more traffic. So you have efficient operations for airlines, you reduce turnaround times, you reduce waiting times because you have invested in your systems, in your infrastructures, and you can have a higher passenger satisfaction that is driven for your traffic development, and thanks to your traffic development, you have more income and again. So this is the virtual cycle of your airport as a revenue engine, thanks to the commercial strategy. Here you have like an overview of the main streams, the main revenue sources. You have two sides. The aeronautical side is the classic airport charges divided by landing charges, passenger charges, aircraft parking, security, and all the facilities and services at the terminal, at the airport, so check-in and the ground handling. You have VHS systems and then and other airport charges like PMM. But I would like to emphasize a lot the other side, so the non-aeronautical revenue sources. So here we have to be creative, and then as you can see, the list here is it's wide, it's long, but there is much more, and later I will show you. So you have revenues from food and beverage, from duty-free advertising, a car park, a car rental, taxi, of course. You have revenues from passenger services, lounges, or meet and greet services or VIP services. Can be generated in-house or outsourced. You have revenues from real estate, so from hotels, offices, business centers, and the airport. And then, but you can also generate revenues from other sources, like training centers, or even renewable energy production. So the range is really large. And then I want to emphasize a lot on the non-aeronautical revenue share because of these because of those numbers. So in Africa, most airports still depend primarily on aeronautical charges. So as you can see in the slide, the 26%, the average of 26% of non-aeronautical revenue is the share in Africa, compared to 36–40% globally, and up to 50% at major hubs is the share of non-aeronautical revenues. And then if passenger numbers in Africa is expected to double soon by 2040, so there is an enormous potential to grow commercial revenues, especially from the non-aeronautical side. So Africa currently has the lowest non-aeronautical share worldwide, and this actually is a big opportunity. And so by strategically boosting these revenues, airports can find improvements, so without relying too much on, for example, government subsidies or increasing airline charges that make your airport less competitive. So those numbers come from an ACI research of this year and show you how the potential in expanding non-aeronautical revenues in Africa is huge. Here are some examples how in Munich we have experimented a lot of creative revenue models. For example, at the airport, our Munich Airport Center offers 31,000 square meters of different type of areas of retail, dining, event space, and can host everything from markets and concerts to corporate lunches. So we have turned parts of the airport into different type of venues. There is a surfing pool. We handle winter festivals and tennis tournaments. So here the message for you is it's about creating experiences that make the airport a destination and not just a transit point. So here is to attract not only passengers, but also the local community in order to offer services that can give you the opportunity to increase your revenues. And here you have other examples. So we host basketball matches, bike and style tournament, ice skating, brand installations, and then polo and beach volley matches. So the key takeaway is think beyond the flight schedule and the operations, and use your airport space, the culture and the community to generate engagement and produce more income. Those are some sorry, go back to the previous slide. Yeah, those are some key activities within Munich Airport that has evolved from an airport into an airport city. As you can see, we have got from 33,000 parking spaces. There are over 60 restaurants, 150 shops. There are 2 hotels. There is an hospital and a power plant and many other activities within the airport. So it's an entire ecosystem supporting travelers, employees, and the surrounding community. So the mindset in managing the airport shifted from being a transit facility, an efficient transit facility, to being a vibrant hub of commerce, of leisure, and also connection. So let's talk about the passengers. That is the heart of a good commercial strategy. So here in this slide, you can see, even from this graph that show you on the bottom of the slide, you can see how happy passengers spend more. So when the journey is smooth and enjoyable, they are more likely, passengers are more likely to dine, to shop, or to explore. So when you design your airport around the passenger and use both commercial and operational leverages to, first of all, to know your passenger. So thanks to their profiling. Then use the commercial layouts and design your commercial layouts to optimize the passenger journey, creating passenger journey maps, and create a sense of place for enhancing the airport experience, and define the right mix of services for avoiding cannibalization within your offer. And all of these are commercial leverages in order to optimize your customer experience. And from an operational point of view, you have operational leverages. You can design seamless procedures to minimize your passenger stress. You can reduce waiting times, for example, with efficient passenger screening. You can have wayfinding easy to follow. You can minimize walking distances between the services within the airport, and then use digital tools for example, for real-time passenger information. Those are all leverages that help you to enhance your customer experience. And when we speak about the passengers, we defining passenger profiles thanks to persona development. So we understand the travelers and customers thanks to the definition of personas with a data-driven approach. So each persona, whatever it is, a business traveler, family or leisure explorer, has a unique priorities, needs, behaviors from an operational perspective to a commercial perspective. So by mapping these needs related to different personas, we can tailor services and retail offers. We can optimize the satisfaction, the experience, and the spending at the same time. So we use a data-driven approach to define personas and passenger profiling. This is a good example. It's a great example of applying these principles. This is a Terminal A at Newark International Airport in the USA, which is operated by Munich Airport International, and it's 1 million square foot terminal, 33 gates, and handling over 18 million passengers per year. So within the terminal, there are more than 50 shops and restaurants, and are carefully selected to represent the local flavor and enhance the overall experience. So we define, of course, personas and passenger profiling to develop the concept of this terminal. And Terminal A has been recognized as a 5-star Skytrax facilities. So thanks to its focus on comfort, intuitive navigation within the terminal, and authenticity, local authenticity. So the spacious, the space interiors, the local art, dining, dynamic signage, and the innovative security screening were key factors in achieving this rating. And so every design element from signage to seating was planned with the passenger in mind, and starting from the profiling of your passengers. So Terminal A exemplifies how the commercial strategy and the operational planning are two sides of the same coin, and they are developed together by integrating your offer, retail food and beverage, and intuitive design with operational processes and procedures. Airports can really achieve world-class standards and certifications. So it's a good example for you. How you measure and then you track the improvements thanks to KPIs for customer experience and operations. At Munich, operational metrics like check-in, boarding times, baggage punctuality, cleanliness of the airport, or queue times at the security or passport control are measured. You can find here the difference of three main categories. So the operational KPIs, as I said, then you have the functional KPIs. So to rate the quality of the service and the operational efficiency of your airport. For example, you can track with KPIs the courtesy, so the percentage of passenger that receiving accurate support, information, the quality of your information and support, and then the quality of your premium services and the availability of premium services. You can do that with surveys, for example, and the emotional KPIs. And with emotionals, I mean the overall passenger satisfaction and the perceived courtesy and friendliness of staff, trust and confidence, such as the passenger view in security and safety within the airport. So these aren't just numbers. They are how we monitor and define and refine both operations and customer experience continuously. We track continuously those KPIs. So the commercial strategy and operations are two sides of the same coin. There is a reciprocal relationship within an airport's commercial strategy and its operation. So integrating them early, especially during a master planning or a planning phase, or in the ORAT phase, ensures that your facilities reflect the actual market and passenger demands. So when commercial strategy drives planning, you get airports that are efficient, profitable, and ready from the first day of the operations. And so in this chart, you can see which are some of the touch points in between commercial and operations. For example, passenger flow and experience, the use of your infrastructure that can be flexible, it can be turned into like a retail space, for example, and to like a passenger waiting area. Digitalization and data, sustainability and financial and asset performance are all aspects that are integrated in between the two strategies. So finally, every airport is a dual business, commercial and operational. Both must work in harmony. And the commercial side focuses, of course, on revenue, the brand of your company, of your airport, and the customer experience, while the operational side ensures efficiency, safety, and reliability. So the winning formula here, the winning key point is keep them aligned through shared goals, shared KPIs, data, and regular collaboration between departments. Here there are some examples of how commercial initiatives and operational are integrated. For example, when we speak about passenger flows and terminal layout, you can expanding the retail might boost your spending, so you can generate more revenue, but at the same time, it mustn't disrupt passenger flows. So many times we see airports that with huge retail areas, but they are very difficult to, the wayfinding is difficult, and then passengers are distracted. So let's make it simple and then coordinate the expansion of the retail areas with the operations. For example, another point, another impact in the operation is the traffic and curbside, arrivals, departures, and then external traffic. So, for example, low-cost car parking can increase access at your airport, but needs careful traffic management. You could have congestion in your curbside, so you need to track and implement operational procedures in order to manage the traffic properly. Another point, security and check-in, early backdrop and fast track lanes delight passengers, but require dedicated infrastructure. So you have to take in consideration that you have to invest more in the infrastructures. Aircraft turnaround and ramp operations. An example here is low-cost carriers can generate fast-growing traffic. So it's very beneficial for your revenues, but strong operational plans are needed, for example, to manage the ground times efficiently. Low-cost carriers have a very quick turnaround at your airport, for example. And then even data monetization, so through Wi-Fi tracking or analytics, there are open opportunities, but needs strong IT governance and privacy protections. So the point here is that every commercial idea has an operational consequence and vice versa. So balancing the two is what makes you truly a world-class airport and a very efficient airport. The last couple of slides are focused on the commercial strategy and the aviation business development within the commercial strategy. So integrating the commercial strategy into airport planning starts with a deep understanding of the market and of the traffic patterns. So a successful commercial strategy contains an aviation business development plan, helping to positioning the airport properly and target the right airlines and the right markets that you want to develop. How do you do that? Attracting additional traffic, so you can stimulate your traffic with a strategy that attract new airlines, that incentivize new destinations, or the capacity increase in specific routes. Or you can securing existing traffic, so consolidating the actual network that you have at your airport. Another key element in the aviation development strategy is improving the market access. It's important to lobbying authorities and associations. So it's an important activity within the aviation business development and the commercial strategy. And the last point is the supporting the development of the infrastructure. So thanks to your forecast, you can help the infrastructure departments in order to provide the right infrastructures for your growth. Some practical examples. So, for example, a quick turnaround in operations for low-cost carriers. So you have an example is an aviation business development that within the aviation business development, you have really focused in low-cost carriers, so you want to push them a lot. So you have to expect quick turnaround operations, but the consequences in your operations could be like implementing the walk-out boarding and pre-boarding procedures to support efficiency and to reduce cost for the local carriers. You have to managing peak periods, recognize how peaks influence runways, taxiways, and terminal systems. So quicker turnaround have a really high impact on your infrastructures. Another example is the opposite. You want to stimulate your connected traffic. You want to develop, for example, full service carriers that generate transit traffic at your airport. So you can reduce the minimum connecting time, and you do that thanks to efficient operations. So enhances, for example, developing connecting traffic requires a focus on seamless transfers and efficient processes. For example, for the PHS, baggage handling systems, or your passport controls, for example. So those are implications that you have in the operations. Last slide for today. It's about the. Just a second. It's about traffic forecast. So within the aviation business development and the commercial strategy, traffic forecasts are fundamental, but not only for commercial, but also for operation strategies at airports. As you know, the forecasts are regularly revised and integrated into commercial strategies to support effective operations planning. And here, in this slide, I would like to give you just a general overview how forecasts are designed and are developed. So there are various forecasting methods that can be used. In the short term period, you can use like a bottom-up analysis that is based on demand models. And some key inputs of this method, it's consultation with airlines. So your network planning department has regular meetings, regular relations with airlines in order to understand the network from your airport and the capacity that the airlines allocate at your airport. You can do that, examine the market trends route by route. So analyzing route by route, which is the market on that destinations. And this is mainly how you build traffic forecast in the short term. Then you have like a long-term forecast, and then so basically they are projections based on macroeconomic indicators, and you can build multiple scenarios. Usually you have a baseline and optimistic and pessimistic scenarios. And how you do that? You do that using economic models. So keeping the historical trends and projecting the historical trends. You can use industry forecast, for example, ACI, or IATA, or Boeing, or Airbus. They provide, all of them, they provide a forecast. And you can use those metrics using your traffic data of your airport and projecting the traffic data in the future. And then you use usually socio-economic projections about such as regional GDP or the population growth. So regularly updating this forecast ensures that your commercial vision and your operational strategies remain aligned, and then with the market, with market realities, so understanding what is really happening in the market, and then ensuring good planning and growth of your airport in the future. So for concluding, I would like to recap what we have learned today. So in conclusion, airports are not longer just gateways or transit point. They are business ecosystems. So when you combine operational excellence with strong commercial vision, you unlock new value for passengers, for airlines, and the community also. So here there is a recap of 4 key points. So first of all, avoid working in silos. So integrate the commercial strategy with all other airport business plans to ensure mutual alignment. So do that regularly. A second key point is start early. So incorporating commercial strategy during the initial phases of airport planning and within the ORAT, so the operational readiness and the airport transfer processes, rather than as an afterthought. So start in the first phases, integrating your commercial strategy into the other processes. Third key point is diversify revenue streams. So to support long-term financial sustainability and resilience, you have to balance the aviation, non-aviation revenues, for example. So as we have seen, there are many ways to generate revenues. So there are many non-aeronautical revenue sources. You have to be creative in order to get them. And the last point is establish KPIs to continuously monitor the performances for both operation and commercial perspectives. These can enable you an ongoing optimization of your efforts. So I hope that today's discussion has given you some new ideas, some examples, and maybe having some inspirations to look at your own airport. So thank you so much for your attention. And now I really would like to know if you have some questions. So I will hand it back to our moderator to open the floor for your questions. Thank you. We cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Okay, so I do have a couple of questions here. I have one from Christian Vomina, who asked, what are the best practice business strategies for airports with 1 million passengers per year? I don't know. I have a series of 2 or 3 questions that we'll just quickly answer before we run out of time, but I would like you to answer that for us, please, Marco.
Yes. So So for sure, when we speak about regional airports or small size airports of around 1 million passengers, probably in the first stage, we cannot develop a proper airport city, of course. So focusing on having not only one client in terms of airline, so airlines diversification, that's a good point within your commercial strategy. So at least two, in order to not be dependent completely from one airline. And then also define your revenue streams and understand which one it's better to integrate in your management. So which one are in-house and which one are outsourced. That's a good good approach. Make you an example. So you have an airport of around 1-2 million passengers. Probably there will be one lounge, and that lounge can be operated in-house or outsourced. So make your calculation and understand when it's better to run and to manage directly that business, or when it's better to outsource in order to minimize risk, and then ensuring yourself like guarantee source of income. So yeah, the answer would be focus on the most important revenue streams and understand which one you want to keep in our outsourcing. I would answer like this.
Thank you. I hope that question has been answered the way you want it to be. And then the next question we have from Frederick Muyoma. He's asking if you could share your experiences around engagement models, most likely the PPPs and the leasing, in terms of developing airports, especially in land and land areas and non-aeronautical revenue as well. And he asks also, what do you think your experience is based on? What would work well for African airports? What do you think will work well for African airports?
Can you repeat the first question, please, to understand better what?
Okay, he's asking if you could share your experience around engagement models, the PPPs, especially in terms of developing airport land, as well as the non-aeronautical revenues. And he's asking for your experience as well of what you think works best for in the African airport context.
So here we are speaking about how the planning, the airport planning.
Yes.
So when we speak about airport planning, for sure, that flexibility is one important aspect. So for example, for African airports where the market is rapidly growing, having flexible infrastructures, it's important. So also to manage peaks or special events. So not just planning like for phases, for time phases in the future, but also planning like flexible alternatives within your airport development. And I'm speaking about terminal design, and speaking about also commercial offer in your airport. Commercial offer can change during the day, can change during the seasons. So a good plan should include also the changing of your infrastructures and your commercial offer during the time, during the day, during the seasons, and during the year. So this is something that is important to do.
Okay, thank you for that, Marco. Quickly, the next question from Api Ajavon. He or she is asking, can you discuss the possibilities of partnering with private sector investments to grow non-aeronautical revenue at African airports? What do you think probably will be the strategies in terms of partnering?
Yeah, so as we have seen within an airport, there are many businesses, many different kind of businesses, and then you have something that you can develop thanks to partners. And then so within your airport, for example, you have real estate developments. So you can also generate partnerships using revenue shares on your new businesses. Or like giving the space for building new facilities. So when partners establishing like long-term partnerships for renting out spaces, or like sharing the revenues from those activities. And partners can be not only aviation companies, aviation-related companies, but real estate companies, or advertising companies, or like or also the community around the airport. So it helps giving space, sharing the opportunities and revenues, and then having long-term partnerships in order to guarantee incomes during the time. And you can use the space that you have at your airport. And so try to get all the services within the airport, avoiding that external parts take the market, but share the business opportunities with your partners.
Thank you. One other question. This is from Ekelem. He is asking, how do you determine the size of market for passengers in an airport? And also, what are those who are those who are willing to pay for flight tickets in a city where an airport is located?
Sorry, in an airport that is located where?
Yes, for the flight ticket. He's asking, how do you determine the size of the market for the passengers in an airport? Yeah.
Okay, so to define the size of a market, there are many methods. There are, first of all, there are specific tools, aviation tools, that can help you to get data from a route or from a market. So basically, you can use the tools in order to access to how many tickets have been sold the last year, or which is the potential on that route. And you analyze not only the direct traffic between two airports, but you analyze also the linkage traffic, as called. So for example, someone has to fly from Munich to Cape Town, so there are the direct connection, and you know the size of that market thanks to tools that is provided by associations, and for example IATA or OIG is another provider. So you know that the direct market, but you also have to know the leakage. So you have like a flight to Abu Dhabi, and then from Abu Dhabi to Cape Town. So you can sum the two sizes, the two numbers, and you have the total market size. And you can do that thanks to aviation business intelligence tools. that analyze the selling of the tickets, and then you can use also search tools like Skyscanner, so you know how many clicks or how many researches have been made on that segment, on that destination. Yeah, and then there are other methods, but the classical methods, the size of your market in terms of the size of the population, and then the distance between two different cities.
I think one last question before we wrap up. I think this is quite really significant and important. He's asking, what are the common mistakes airports make when designing or implementing the commercial strategies?
The big mistake is not link the commercial strategy with operations, as we have seen in the speech today. So we have to ensure first that a passenger is oriented, so he knows where to go and he reach his final destination in terms of the airport facility as soon as possible. So if you have like a smooth operations at your airports, you have happier passenger that can spend. So when you develop commercial strategy, you have always to keep in mind the operational efficiency of your airport. So not optimize in terms of sizes. So if you have like a bigger or a larger retail space, it doesn't mean that you can get more money. So if you have like a very seamless passenger journey, and then you have a very clear offer of your products, you can get more from your customers. So it's something that has, or in advertising is the same. So sometimes is you can get more revenue with one big single advertisement or screen or digital tool than like 1,000 small advertisement spaces. That is confusing for your customers.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this webinar. I'm sorry we are running out of time. I have so many interesting questions here, but probably maybe I'll have to share them with Marco and see if he can answer some, and then maybe we can share them as well with you, but we're actually running out of time. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your presence and your questions also. And also to Marco and Munich Airport International, we want to say thank you for sharing your expertise with us with ACI Africa, and we hope to continue with this important collaboration and have other important webinars in terms of airport economic development and social attributes of our African airports. Thank you, everyone, and to have a good day wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you, Marco.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes.
You can reach me for further questions. I'm available.
Yes, we will do that. And then we will share them with the members. Also, the presentation and the audio and video of this webinar will also be shared with you all. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.